Balloon Ring's a card that you want.
Yeah, Balloon Ring is pretty good. It kills a guy or gets rid of their Tempered Steel.
You still take the hit, but...
Relic Warder, Iona's Judgment, and Revoke Existence. Yeah, Revoke Existence is a reasonable card, but... Relic Warder is kind of okay, but it's... I mean, it can get dismembered, and various bad things can happen. So it looks like we are moving to another match here between Aaron Lewis and Lukas Parson. So they're going into game 3. Lukas is going to be on the play. We'll have the deck list here for you in just a second and tell you what both these players are playing. Here come the deck lists.
We have Tempered Steel.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of Tempered Steel.
And Twin.
Ah, and Splinter Twin. So now, who do you feel has the matchup here?
I don't know. There's no Spell Skites in this deck, so probably the Twin deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a race. If Aaron can set up his combo on turn 4, turn 5, he'll probably win. If Tempered Steel has a quick Tempered Steel, they'll probably win, right?
That deck's pretty good at comboing on turn 5, so turn 5 or 6. So,
I mean, let's look at their sideboards here. So, Torpor Orb came out.
Oh, there is Torpor Orb.
Torpor Orb is in the Tempered Steel deck, which is a reasonable option. Also, Active Aggression.
There are cards to interact. I guess I missed those.
So that's seven pieces of interaction from the Tempered Steel deck. Out of the Splinter Twin deck, there's Dismember, reasonable answer. Into the Royal, something you could consider. Inferno Titan, Combust, and Pyroclasm. How would you sideboard with the Splinter Twin deck, considering that you have so many cards to bring in? Because it seems like you want Combust, Pyroclasm, and Dismember at the very least.
I don't know if you want Dismember.
Really?
It only kills, what's it called? Spell Skite. You probably want Into the Royal for the Tempered Seals just to buy time.
How does Dismember only kill Spellskite?
Or like, it only profitably kills Spellskite, I guess. Like, just killing the random guys might not be enough, I feel like.
Okay.
Like, you're trying to combo, you don't really need to dilute your deck.
Sure, maybe you just want to go for speed. Maybe even Into the Royal would be better just to buy time.
Maybe if you board an Inferno Titans, you want Dismembers?
Okay.
Well, here's the matchup. We have Lukas Parson versus Aaron Louie. They have a 2-minute extension.
Yeah, 2-minute extension, and we'll find out what how this matchup's going to play out. It should be interesting. We've talked about the Tempered Steel deck a lot. I feel like the Twin deck is favored here, but it could go either way depending on what they draw, especially Torpor Orb and Active Aggression out of the sideboard. Now, the interesting thing is Torpor Orb could easily be as much of a help as a hindrance. He's boarding in 4. If you draw like 2 or 3 Torpor Orbs, you could just fall so far behind it doesn't matter.
Especially if he boards into Infernos and stuff.
Right. Yeah, Inferno Titan
some giant monsters beat you down while you have Torpor Orbs is not where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Refraction Trap is an interesting card out of the Tempered Steel sideboard. We were talking about this one earlier today. Against the red decks, Refraction Trap is pretty good at protecting your creatures. It's good against Pyroclasm.
It's good against Slagstorm too.
Slagstorm. So there's a couple cool things you can do with Refraction Trap. Now, I'm not sure if Lukas brought it in for this matchup, but it'll be something to watch in case he did. He already has enough reactive cards. I doubt he brought it in, but interesting to note nonetheless.
Yeah.
In testing, I felt like Mono Red was one of the few matchups that could beat Tempered Steel. Basically, if they drew Tempered Steel,
heads up at least, yeah.
Yeah, heads up. I felt like if they drew Tempered Steel, you were in bad shape. Otherwise, you could win. So,
yeah,
see what happens. All right, looks like the players are drawing their 7s, and we'll see what happens. Players want to keep.
Lukas Mulligans.
Lukas Mulligans.
I believe Aaron's keeping.
I agree. It looks like Aaron is keeping. So, Aaron, the player playing the Splinter Twin deck, is keeping his hand, which is never a good sign, especially when the Mulligan deck or when the beatdown deck is going down to 6 cards up a Mulligan. So
probably means Pyroclasm or Into the Royal Pyroclasm or just the combo.
Yeah, just the combo. Which is, if he just has straight up the combo and Aaron doesn't have a good way to interact with it, and
Lucas
doesn't have a good way to interact with
Lucas only has 4 dispatch. He does not have the extra dismembers a lot of people have.
4 dispatch. I mean, he does have 3 active aggression, 4 torpor.
But no good cheap boys, at least.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know if you really want to be staring down expensive cards into this deck that... I guess Aaron only has 1 dispel, but he's got some spell pierces, a negate, mana leaks. Whichever ones of those stay in are going to be a problem there.
Dispel's a card we talked a lot about this weekend. How in the blue-red combo decks, both Ascension and Splinter Twin, Dispel is just a really great reactive card. We saw a version by Jonathan Medina earlier today that had a full 4 copies of Dispel in it.
That card is awesome. He was cutting Mana Leak for it, and it looked really amazing. It just protected him from everything.
I mean, all the cards you're worried about are pretty much instants.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're trying to interact with their combo, and for 1 mana, you counter whatever you want to counter.
Yep.
And it just lowers the curve on your counter magic. So that's a card to watch, Dispel.
Is in fact.
I was pretty happy with that one when I saw it. Alright, now it looks like he's keeping. And here they go. Alright, Lukas leads off. Lands. Spell.
Land, Signal Pass Memnite.
Alright, land, Signal Pass Memnite. On the flip side, Aaron Louie is going to go for a Ponder, the textless version.
The cool one, at least.
Huh. The cookie version. Alright, puts back a bunch of lands. And chooses, almost draws, but chooses the shuffle. Interesting, it seemed like he was thinking about it there for a second. Thought it for sure he was going to draw, but he changed his mind.
Yeah. Realized maybe he needs one specific card and it just wasn't there, even though he had a couple things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Ponder. You can't ship any to the bottom like with Preordain, so you have to like what you see.
All or nothing.
Huh. Unless you've got a fetch land.
Well, then it's just whatever you want it to be.
So Lukas serves in for 2 with Memnite Signal Pest.
Looks like that's an Inkmoth Nexus and a Torpor Orb.
Alright, so that orb shuts off the Deceiver X-Art combo.
Does in fact.
I think that was a Taxian Probe drawn by Aaron there.
There's a Pyroclasm going to come down and make things difficult for Lukas, especially off his mulligan and the Torpor Orb.
That'll work with the board. Yeah, the Torpor Orb, I mean, while it is effective, it's almost like a mulligan to 5 in some senses. Because you play
it doesn't actually kill someone.
Right, it just sits there.
Probe reveals, is that Plains?
Plains.
Oh boy.
Things are about to get really rough for Lukas Parson. And Pyroclasm.
Do you know what this is?
Is it Nexus time? Oh, this is game 3.
It's game 3.
It's game 3.
Come to the front desk.
Well, that was a Dave Shields.
Dave Shields, please come to the main stage.
Dave Shields made top 8. I think we were told he was on Tempered Steel.
Yes, Dave Shields playing Blue-White Tempered Steel.
Yes. Aaron preordains into, looks like a Mana Leak and an Into the Royal with the cards.
If I can use the bathroom real fast, would be fine. What's it? Alright,
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Aaron passes the turn back. Nexus jams in for 1 poison from Lukas's otherwise empty board besides lands. Aaron's turn again, playing a Misty Rainforest, just passing back. Lukas is in a rough spot, doesn't really have any real pressure, but he can easily draw out of it, and that Torpor Orb does have to be answered before Aaron can win the game. 1 more poison in for Lukas. Inkmoth Nexus is putting down some good beats. Mox Opal comes down and casts a Vault Scourge. The black mana from the Mox Opal paying for the Phyrexian. Aaron taking 1 damage off his fetch land end step to get another island. Looks like Aaron has a Spell Pierce in his hand, plays a 2nd mountain, passes back. Lukas beginning the slow beatdown route to victory. Leveling up Inkmoth and bashing in for a damage, and it looks like the 4th poison of the game. Aaron Louie down to, I believe, 15 and 4 poison. Glintalk Idol bounces Nexus, which gets replayed. It's 14 life and 4 poison, my bad. Aaron Louie's hand of Spell Pierce, Into the Royal, and Mana Leak. Aaron Louie places 6th land and just passes back again. Lukas pays 2 mana, plays another Torpor Orb with Mana Leak mana up. Aaron, considering his options, given the need to remove that card to combo off, and plays a negate on it. Inkmoth Nexus mans up, and 3 damage and a poison go in, putting Aaron to 11 life and 5 poison. Aaron's still holding a grip of cards that don't really interact with attackers, except for maybe an Into the Royal that has to be saved for that Torpor Orb. Ponders trying to find some gas. Sees a Splinter Twin and shuffles the stack away. Draws another Spell Pierce. Not going to help him right here. Lukas has a contested War Zone, which yet again dodges all the counter magic sitting in Aaron's hand. Aaron had opted not to mana leak that Glinthawk in hopes of protecting a combo later and just hasn't been able to assemble something. Nexus puts him to 7 poison, and 5 damage from the attack puts him to 6.
Man. Aaron desperately digging for something, some kind of way out of the situation. Things were looking pretty grim for Lukas earlier on, but Aaron has just not developed this game the way that he wanted to. Let's see. Especially with that contested War Zone. Only 2 in Lukas Parson's deck, but it's doing a lot of work right here. And Aaron really doesn't have a good way to steal it or interact with the War Zone at all. Lukas, thinking about activating that Inkmoth Nexus, decides not to. Yet. Lukas just opts to serve in for 3, pump twice for 5, so he's going to gain 2 off the Vault Scourge, though it's not too relevant, and then pump up the Glinthawk even further, dropping Aaron to 6 life. Aaron goes for Into the Royal on Torpor Orb. Does he have the combo? Kicks it up. Well, he didn't play out. He draws Splinter Twin, but he does not have Deceiver Exarch, and that's game. Lukas flips over his hands, revealing what I believe is the dispatch, showing that he had an answer, even if Aaron would manage to assemble the combo. And so another what looks like a top 16 matchup in Lukas Parson's favor, putting yet another Tempered Steel deck into the top 16. That's certainly a deck to watch. You guys need to prepare for this deck going forward. I don't think a lot of people were really thinking about it, and it's certainly a problem deck for many decks to deal with. So you will want to keep your eye on Tempered Steel going forward. Aaron Louie losing that match, dropping to probably top 32, maybe top 64. So see how he finishes there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a reminder.
So the top 8 has been locked in, and we're not far off from. I'll wait till this announcement finishes. So the top 8's been locked in, and we're not far off from playing out the top 8. Here are your top 8 competitors for this event. David Shields. We know David Shields is playing the blue-white Tempered Steel deck. Jason Hager. Not sure what Jason is playing. Matthew Farney, who we saw earlier in the day, and I believe he's either playing blue-white or Tempered Steel, one of the two. Tim Piskowski, who I believe is playing, not sure Tim is playing. Kyle Dubinsky, we know, is playing Tempered Steel. Corey Fay, not sure. Caleb Durward, who's playing his Pure Steel Paladin deck, and he's worked on this deck a ton, put Nate Peace at the top 16 with it, and now he's in top 8 with this deck. It'll be fun to watch how that deck plays out, as well as Ben Friedman. Ben, I believe, is playing Blue-White as well. Blue-White Squadron Hawks, Hero Blade Holds, etc. So we'll have the matchup bracket. We'll have the bracket for you shortly, but it's really an interesting top 8 filled with quite a few different things, different deck lists, different tweaks on the same deck list going around. We'll see how that all plays out very soon. So for those users joining us, I'm Gavin Verhey here in the booth at the Star City Games Open Series here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And we just finished up round 10 of 10. It's been a long day of Standard here, but 10 rounds are in the books. They are finished, and we are about to head into the top 8 in just a matter of minutes, probably about half an hour or so until the top 8 starts. Deck checks have to finish up, and players have to, have their top 8 player meeting. But then we'll go into the top 8. We'll cover some matches for you. These events are just absolutely fabulous. 10 rounds, great turnout. The banning of Stoneforge Mystic and Jason the Mind Sculptor certainly helped, coupled with the brand new set. And the turnout for this event was just phenomenal. It is absolutely great to see so many people here. And if you want to come out to one of these events, I highly recommend it. You can play either Standard on Saturday. There's also the Legacy Challenge on Saturday if you're just here for Legacy. On Sunday, there's the Legacy Open as well as 2 Draft Opens you can play in. And if you do well enough, you'll qualify for the StarCityGames.com Invitational. There's 2 of these every year, and these events award over $50,000 in prize money. Absolutely insane. It's far more than a Grand Prix. It's almost like, being a part of a slightly smaller Pro Tour. And the players are phenomenal. You get to play both Standard and Legacy. And if you can't make it out to one of these events to qualify, I recommend checking out an invitational qualifier near you. The way invitational qualifiers work is your local stores host them, and if you do well enough, if you win at one of the normal invitational qualifiers or make the finals of the super invitational qualifiers, you'll be qualified to play in the invitational. And the super invitational qualifiers are only given to a couple select stores. Those qualifiers award $1,000 total between the top 8 players. So you'll want to check into that and see if there's one near you, because it's really great value, and the invitational is some of the highest Magic you can be playing right now. It's absolutely fantastic. So it's been a really exciting tournament, and a lot of exciting decks we've watched. It's all about to boil down in the top 8. We'll be back in about 25 minutes as the top 8 unravels. We get to see who plays who. We get to see